Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 4 of The Exit Row. I'm your host, Adama Anderson, here with Paige Larson.
Hey, guys.
And Justin Moore.
Hey, what's up?
How you guys doing?
Pretty good.
I'm good.
Yeah.
How are you? How are you, Adama?
I'm phenomenal. I only have one more week left in the military in a way, so it's kind
Well,
of
look
nice.
at you
For
go.
the last couple of weeks.
It has been, but like
Right.
I will not be wearing my uniform ever again past Monday.
That's kind of bittersweet, though, isn't it?
It is. It is. So, but let's enough about me. Let's talk
Honestly.
about us. All right. So, on our last podcast, those who listen, you had heard that we had our future travels at the very end of our podcast, and we talked about how Paige, you ended up back in
Fremont?
Fremont.
Yeah.
Thank you. There you go. You did that by car. How was that? Yeah.
It was good. It was
Yeah,
uneventful.
by car.
Actually, I had to leave early from my parents' house because there was some severe weather coming in.
Nebraska weather, right?
Yeah. Almost got clapped, but it's all good.
There you
Tornado
go.
warning, tornado watches started coming out as I was on my way back, but it's all right.
Yeah, you
know,
made it back.
I did.
You didn't get fired this week.
No, I sure did not.
Congratulations.
There were opportunities to, though.
There were, and we could talk about that maybe later if we remember about talking about it.
The opportunity. Hold up.
The opportunities about, okay, well, we'll discuss it now. We had the opportunity where you didn't know how to operate your seat.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I have some excuses for that though. For example, the headrest, when you can push it up, I don't need that because I'm short. So I didn't know about that.
Yeah, but you didn't know that that was a thing, and you didn't know about reclining your seat.
I do now though.
All right, so you did not get fired. All right,
It was close.
close to getting fired. So,
Well.
however, back to the topic, we ended up actually doing an AvGeek thing, as Justin said,
Flying just to fly.
flying just to
Absolutely.
fly. And we took a brand new airline concept from Lincoln, Nebraska. Lincoln, if you don't know, is about an hour from Omaha. So we had to drive down there to go do this. But we took Red Way Airlines. Red Way is a new airline that started service from Lincoln back in June 2023, so just last month. The airline was founded in 2022 by a group of investors. The airline's headquarters is obviously there in Lincoln. The airline CEO is David Herring, who is also the executive director of the Lincoln Airport Authority. It offers public charter flights to 7 destinations. Those destinations are Atlanta, Austin, Dallas, Las Vegas, Minneapolis, Nashville, and Orlando, all places that people from Lincoln would like to go visit instead of coming up to Epley here in Omaha. The flights are operated actually by Global Crossing Airlines, also known as Global X, a Miami-based carrier. Red Way is what they call a virtual airline, which means that it does not own any aircraft. Instead, it contracts other airlines to operate its flights. Red Way's fares are typically lower than those of traditional airlines, which all three of us
We
experienced.
definitely found that out to be true.
Absolutely.
We were able to do a round trip for under $100. It was pretty nice.
Yeah.
This is because the airline does not pay for the cost of operating its own aircraft, such as fuel and maintenance. Red Way also offers a variety of discounts and promotions, which we saw recently with their buy one, get one sale.
Hashtag BOGO.
Which they had about, I think, 8,000 tickets sold during the Amazon Prime Day. So it was pretty good for Red Way and the Lincoln Airport. So
Absolutely.
yeah, it's a very interesting concept, and we all got to experience it.
We did.
And
Which, by the way, was the first time we'd all 3 flown together.
that's
Believe
correct.
it or
Yeah.
not, which I kind of find hard to believe, but we've all flown, but just not together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was pretty neat.
Side
It was
note,
fun.
Hashtag exit row outing.
Exit row outing, exit row field trip, and
It was a little sentimental as we passed by the exit row in the plane. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
right, and
And
like
when
you
we-
said, hey, now Justin, you actually came up with the we have free advertising.
We do. So
Yeah.
literally when you really think about this, on every single flight that's happening around the world, every commercial flight at least, commercially, the exit row is mentioned on every single flight. Mm-hmm. Think about that. So when the stewardess is doing their thing, going through their script, keep the seatbelt on and whatnot, here's the windows, there's the exit row. It's mentioned every single time. It's
It really
free
is.
publicity.
Free
Yeah.
publicity.
Absolutely.
Thank you, every airline. I
I mean,
appreciate
they
it.
mentioned us about, I say us, the exit row, at least 5 or 6 times before we departed Lincoln.
No
It
complaints.
was always nice.
No complaints.
Yep.
I mean, I told him, I was like, you didn't have to do that. And that was very nice of you.
Right? So let's talk about check-in. So it's a little bit different, obviously. It's not your normal carrier. It's a virtual
yeah.
airline. So it's a charter flight in a way, right? It's a private charter.
It's a public charter. Yep.
So
Public, yeah, it's weird, yeah.
Yeah. It's an interesting concept.
so there's no electronic check-in, right?
Nope.
We
Repeat
were-
that. You cannot check in online or the app or even going to a website. You have to do it physically, in person.
Yes, at the airport.
At the airport. So we...
Which
so
in this day and age is rare,
it is rare.
by the way.
It is rare. But
It's kind of cool though, because it's different from the normal that you do,
It's
on
cool
the app.
when
It
you
kinda,
don't have a 7 a.m. flight and have to
Well,
be there
yeah.
at 4 a.m.
It kind of takes you back to how it used to be flying, before all this electronic stuff came out. So
but
All
you
this electronic stuff.
yeah,
but you end up actually getting a ticket, right?
Yeah.
An actual
Absolutely.
paper ticket. So that's kind of a neat concept again, right? Bring
Exactly.
it back to old school.
You get indirectly you get a souvenir, right?
yes,
There you go. There you
exactly.
go. So we check in at the Lincoln Airport. Very interesting. The flight doesn't show up on Flight Radar 24. Not until the last minute showed up as, hey, it's about to depart or it's going to depart. You see it shows up as Global X, right? Or Global Crossing.
Yep.
Justin, you were talking about how the Lincoln Airport website, it did not show the correct information.
Yeah, so like the night before, I believe, yes, so the night before, so this would be Friday night. We flew out on Saturday. So on Friday night, I just, you just naturally look up your flight, like that's
Yeah.
what we
Yeah.
do as AV geeks. We just want to look at the aircraft and just get ready for the day, right? So I remember looking at Flight Radar and it wasn't even on there. It wasn't even, like say Allegiant
Yeah.
usually does it, but they don't have an aircraft attached to it.
Right.
Yeah,
In this instance, there's not even a flight listed. So that's usually red flag number 1. Not a big deal, but I would like to see something set in stone is what I'm getting at. And so what I did is I went to Lincoln's official website and there was our flight number, which was G6-1021. And it was a city starting with an A, but it was not Austin. It was Atlanta, Georgia, as in ATL, not AUS. So that kind of got me, okay, what are we doing here? Which is fine, because again, let me remind you, we were flying just to fly.
yes.
But it'd be nice to know where you're going.
Right.
At the end of the
Right.
day.
You're going to come back on that airline. You want
Right.
to know, right?
So that was my big thing when I noticed, because literally until the next morning, when it was finally uploaded to Flight Radar, however you want to say it. But literally, even Lincoln's official website showed it as Atlanta, and it was flight numbers and everything. So
Well, and when we got there on the flight board, it said we were going to Atlanta, but it said TBD, and then right below it, it said Austin.
on like the flight board at check-in, what she's referring
Yes.
to is it had the flight number. It had both Atlanta and Austin mentioned, which was weird. So
Schrodinger's flight.
they're a new airline. I guess they're figuring it out. I don't know.
Don't know where you're going until you get there, but yeah.
Mystery flight.
Mystery flight.
So I found it interesting, after we checked in, right? I found it interesting that the employees had red polos. So usually, that was interesting to see them like that, because you look at everybody at Epley and you see that they're the ones that are checking you in are also they're not wearing polos. So it just was kind of interesting, I
Yeah.
thought.
It's different, but not in a bad way.
It was friendlier though, because
Yeah.
the one nice thing I have to say about, I have multiple nice things to say.
Oh,
But
one nice thing.
Only one.
please, I should say
let's retract
one of the
that.
nice things.
One of the many nice
There
things.
you go. That
Yes.
I found was they were super friendly, because they saw that
Yes.
all three of us were flying together. We all chose window seats because we're av geeks and we want to be window seats. Even if we are not next to each other, we want to be next.
Yeah.
We want the windows. We love the window, and they're like, well. We'll put you guys together, and
Yeah.
they wanted to accommodate us, and I thought that was really neat.
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely. To go out of your way to at least even acknowledge, put context in the situation is what they're trying to do.
Yes.
But it was
Yeah.
funny, yeah. Like you mentioned, they wanted to seat us together, but if you really do your homework, you would know that we don't want to sit together.
Right. And I was trying to explain that, and it's just that Midwest
Right.
hospitality, which was
Absolutely.
really, really nice.
I loved it.
And so, yeah, we got our paper tickets. They weren't electronic tickets. We had TSA pre-check, so that was kind of nice. However, Justin, you ran into a little bit of pre-check issues, but it's not really an issue because at 6 o'clock in the morning, there's nobody going through the line at Lincoln.
Three of three people in line at the time, so it didn't turn out to be a big deal. Because I added my known traveler number at the desk. For some reason, it didn't relay when
It happened to me too.
I thought I overheard you going through the same thing, but then when we got to the security checkpoint, when I had my ID scanned, he said I was just standard security, even though technology stuff, as Paige said, it just wasn't adding up. But luckily, like I said, we were 3 of 3 people in line, so it wasn't a huge headache.
No.
Right.
However, you don't want to take your shoes off, so
Right.
I get it.
No?
That's why I'm
Who wants to
TSP.
do that?
Who wants my nasty feet on the
It was just
nasty
kind of
ground?
funny because he's like, could you just step to the side as there's no one behind me?
There was no one. It was kind of funny. So, yeah. So we get through TSA, right? Easy. Brand new like renovation of the Lincoln Airport.
Yeah, shout out to Lincoln Airport. Looking really nice right now.
Looks great.
Really nice.
Yeah, I love it.
Like Epley
Super
needs
modern.
to step up their game. Like just saying.
Oh god, I can't wait for that renovation to be done.
And what's funny about that is they are stepping up their game.
They are.
They are.
But yeah, Lincoln did a real good job. And this airline, we should say, like came out of like COVID because Lincoln lost. I think they had Delta before, so they lost their Delta flights, and they only have United right now. So this is a really neat concept that's going on for those in Lincoln and in Grand Island and Kearney, all those cities that would like to
connect Western Nebraska.
Correct, and to make people from Lincoln, hey, maybe we support local and not go up to Omaha and to drive an hour and go pay the ridiculous parking at Epley. So.
Right.
So we get to our gate. Found it really neat or interesting that they had the food carts there at the, or not food carts, but
the galley carts.
There you go. The galley carts were there outside the gate. They were waiting for the airline to open up, or the airplane to open up, which is interesting because you never see that from the inside the airport.
Right. It was a weird.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
It was kind of interesting.
Yeah, and so. Because the airport, they only get Embraers right now, and they only get CRJ 200s. They don't get an Airbus A320 like what we have.
Until now.
Yep.
And so it was just very neat and interesting to see that.
Because what's funny about, again, referring back to this as a small airline at a small airport, the same people that check you in are the same people that then scan your ticket.
Yes.
Like, I mean, it's a literally family affair there. Same people that check you in, literally scan your ticket and bring you onto the plane.
Yeah.
Very small operation.
And there was only 4 of them. And like right after we had checked in, 2 of them already went back up to the gate. So it was, it was a small amount of people that showed up for the first flight. I think I counted about 31, but I'm pretty sure it was a little bit higher than that.
Yeah.
For a plane that fits, I think 160. I could be wrong with the number, but
somewhere around
made
there.
31 look like more like 17.
There you go. There you go. So when it was time for us to board, right?
Paige got super excited.
She did. She said her things that she does with planes.
Oh, cute plane face.
There you go, cute plane
Oh my
face.
gosh.
Started to get all hashtag Paige.
Man, that plane face was extra cute that day, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, it woke up and put its makeup on,
It
or whatever you say.
absolutely did. That plane, it knew we were going to be there today, and it was just like, man, I'm ready.
Yeah, I don't. That's just Paige, guys. All right, and so we.
Reoccurring character.
It is
podcast.
So we, they go ahead and announce, "Hey guys, welcome to Global Crossing." They didn't say Red Way; they said Global Crossing. 10. Yeah. Was it 10:20?
10:21.
10:21, 10:22 to Dallas. So they had stated the wrong city that we were going to.
We've thrown a third city into the mix.
Yeah.
By the way, if you're keeping score at home, that's city number 3.
Atlanta, Dallas.
Many possibilities of where we could be going.
Did you have Dallas on your bingo card? There you go.
Then the lady realized what was happening because they was like, "Wait, what?"
Because all of a sudden people perk up.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
Dallas? No. I mean, I'll go to Dallas.
I mean, it's within the state, but we're still not quite there yet.
Right.
Not quite.
Then she restated, she redid the whole thing, started from scratch. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Global Crossing 1021 to Austin, Texas.
There we go. I think we're going to the right place.
Which, fun fact, that was my 20th anniversary in the Air Force.
Look at that.
And in the Air Force, boot camp or basic training is located in Texas. So I ended up back in Texas 20 years later.
It all comes full circle, man.
It does.
Whether you want it to or not.
It literally came full circle. So we ended up, they did the boarding process. And the boarding process, they did it by rows. So that was interesting. You know, it's been a while since I've seen the rows, but I don't know which airlines do rows and which ones. I know people do. We already talked about Southwest in the last one, about numbers. I know people do groups, you know.
I would say the most common is like groups or zones.
Yeah.
Right.
Like
Right. It's not rows anymore.
Is odd,
Yeah, it
Rows
was.
is odd.
But yeah,
I
so
liked it, though. I liked the rose
Oh,
concept.
it wasn't that there's anything wrong with it. It was just
Yeah,
different. Yeah.
it's different.
it was different.
I mean, I'm okay with it when I'm in the back and there's only 17 people on the plane. Now, you might not have been into it had the flight been full.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a different story.
Right. And then we boarded the longest bridge we have ever seen.
Oh
my God,
my
that jet bridge
good.
just
That's
kept
so
going.
true.
That jet bridge was like a mile long. It felt like, not really, but it was very long.
Yeah.
And we were like, this is
really
the
was.
Lincoln Airport. It doesn't need to be this long. So
Right.
We were walking for a minute.
It
like,
was.
a while.
It was a-
very odd.
It was a brand new jet bridge, too. It had that new jet bridge smell.
It did. Yes.
Yes.
It really did. It's that new jet bridge smell. Absolutely.
Yes.
Completely agree.
because that's the thing, right?
Because normally
now.
is that typical jet bridge smell not something you want. Not-
And then we boarded our aircraft, which was November 281 Golf X-Ray.
Which, by the way, if you notice, it's the only aircraft in the technical.
Yeah.
If you want to call it the fleet,
Yes.
whatever you want, whatever word you want to put on it, because a fleet consists of one at the moment, but that
Exactly.
plane literally runs every single Red Way.
It does.
It does, and so it does 2 cities a day, and it's one dedicated aircraft where it comes home back to Lincoln and sleeps, as Paige would say.
Yeah. It's such a hard little worker.
Which brings up questions, in my opinion. Like, if something were to happen to that aircraft,
Right.
Right?
but that's a whole nother discussion.
That's a whole nother discussion.
I'm
Got
just
it.
saying that's something interesting to think about. If something were to happen to that aircraft, I mean, is Red Way done for that week? I mean, what happens?
Yeah, I don't know.
You gotta take care of BB.
That's the risk of having one plane in your fleet.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
I mean, if I were to make a guess, I would say maybe they would recruit another aircraft from Global X, but again, that kind of throws off their
It's all
operations
easier
well.
said than done.
So,
I mean, there's just not
right,
aircraft sitting available. Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot that goes into
It's
it.
just
So I've
interesting
been
that
curious about it too.
Just interesting that they just have one dedicated plane, literally.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that I find that very interesting. So we're gonna go ahead and take a break, and after that, we're gonna talk about being on board the aircraft.
Ooh.
Welcome back, guys. We are now talking about being on board our aircraft. However, I forgot to mention that today's recording is on July 17th, so this is also known as 717 Day. So
oh yay!
give it up for the Mad Pup, or like I said in the previous episode, Sad Pup.
Oh,
Yeah, poor Delta.
poor plane.
All right, so we are on board our aircraft, November 281 Golf X-Ray, or those who don't know, N281GX.
Oh, okay.
There you go. All right, so November 281 Golf X-Ray.
Cute
We get on
plane.
board our aircraft. We get to our respective seats, and we know that there's 31 people on board. That's kind of what I counted. I'm sure there's more than that.
31, give or take 3 or 4.
And so we literally could have chosen any seat that we wanted, which they let us sit anywhere we wanted. We do know that when you do purchase a Red Way ticket, you do get to your own seat selection. It's free,
Regardless of tier.
regardless of the
Yes.
tier. There's 4 separate tiers. You have just the basic one, which is basic. You have then Go Light, then you have Go Plus, and then you have Go Extra. So there you go. You have 4 separate
The
tiers.
basic one is basic. Interesting.
Very,
You don't
very
say.
basic. And that was kind of funny. And I do know that there's a difference between the snack, like in the back we got snacks, but in the front they actually got full meals
Yeah.
or a meal.
Yeah, exactly. I found that interesting too. The flight was under 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But hey, it is what it is. So we ended up getting on board the aircraft. We all had our window seats, and we did our taxiing that we do, right? And then we take off and we get airborne towards Austin, not Dallas, not Atlanta.
We were en route. Everything was on point.
It was on point. It was on time. It was early.
Yeah.
Actually,
It was like 20 minutes early, I think.
and that was really nice. And
Got
we
some-
experienced that both ways, that
Yeah.
we left early both times and arriving early, even with the weather in the air over Oklahoma,
Oh,
which
yes.
we had to divert around. So we had our experience. We got to our seats, and the friendly crew, the friendly flight attendants, all came around, and they did their service, our little service of water, coffee, or tea. So they didn't have like a bunch of drinks or anything like that. It was just three different drinks. It was water, coffee, and tea. They also gave us a muffin, and the muffin was kind of a half muffin. It was kind of interesting.
It was good. It was chocolate chip. So, great, I thought.
Did you have it? Yeah,
I did. I slept the entire way, but I did eat the muffin at one point.
there you go. Had a muffin. I did not eat the muffin, so I will take your 2 thoughts into consideration the next time I try it.
Yeah.
So we made our way towards Austin, and we had our service there. We were able to sit anywhere we wanted. Seat selection was free, only if you chose the middle seat, which is what we found out, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Only if you choose the middle seat. If you choose any other seat, then you do have to pay a little extra for it. Our flight attendants, again, they were very friendly. Their outfits were interesting because you were expecting to have maybe some red in the flight attendants' uniforms, but they were blue and green,
Yeah, the Global X colors. I loved it though.
right?
Yeah.
I really like the colors too. Like,
Me too.
Yeah, it was nice, yeah. It was weird, though. There was nothing Red Way whatsoever. It was
No.
very odd.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting that there was no mention of it anywhere, really, besides at check-in. No mention of it. I found that interesting.
And
I
it's
found it
funny
interesting.
because I did have someone on Instagram tell me, "Oh, I thought the plane was going to be red." No, it's Global X.
Yeah, it's Global X.
What a noob.
So, yeah, I think the only thing that was Red Way that I felt like in the whole experience was just those red polos I was talking about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was it.
If it wasn't for the website, this is basically all Global X.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, what I found really neat was that the seats for our experience for the flight, they had USB chargers, which was
Yep.
really nice. And they also had the full,
Yeah, full-on outlets.
there you go,
Yes.
full on outlets, including the 220. So you could have hooked up anything to that aircraft.
Absolutely.
And that's something that you don't get on some airlines, Southwest.
In their defense, I've never seen both of them on any airline, so just making that known.
It was nice, though. Yeah, it was nice. I personally don't use the USB because
Yeah.
with my phone that I use the Google Pixel, I don't use the USB. So I'm always out of luck. So it's always nice to see a
darn.
full-on outlet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really nice. I will have to correct you though, Paige, that you can't get those on Delta aircraft.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm just saying you have the seat.
I guess that is true. Delta
Yeah.
does have it, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Southwest and American.
You think
I
you would
didn't
have
see
noticed
it.
that when you didn't have a window? What else did you look at? You should have noticed that last time.
That's true. That's true. I was too busy editing pictures.
So yeah, the seats were pretty good. They also had every single seat back had a Lincoln magazine in it. Which
Yep.
Paige, you experienced that?
I did. I didn't read it in its entirety, but I did skim through it, and it was actually very interesting. It had some history about Lincoln. It had some locations of museums, event centers, some events coming up. Now, those events that were in that particular issue were outdated, but regardless, it had history on, of course, Nebraska football, big thing Lincoln's known for. It had a bunch of places that I've never even heard of in Lincoln, and I did actually take some pictures of the magazine just to, for my own reference. It also had some medical facilities, if that's which you need.
Okay, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
but it
All right,
had-
Paige.
I'm just saying.
Good 5-minute synopsis of the Lincoln magazine.
Right.
Oh, 5 minutes. You're so dramatic.
The medical
My
facilities
God.
of Lincoln. All right.
My God.
So again, every seatback had a Lincoln magazine, which was kind of.
You took pictures of the magazine.
Only one part of a few places I would maybe like to go at some point.
Are you talking about medical facilities?
No! You guys are so
I like how you took literal
stupid.
bookmarks of the. You should have just taken the magazine.
Should have just
You should've
taken it.
just
I'm
taken
not
the
that
magazine.
mean.
So it's the person who steals the safety cards that you won't take the magazine.
Okay.
Anyway,
Well, I would not be the only person to do that, so.
I just like how you're like, I wouldn't do that, but I'll take the other thing behind it. I'll take
But
the
I'll,
other thing behind it.
I'll take the thing that actually secures everybody
Oh
and
my
tells them how
God.
to be safe.
Anyway, now that we've been informed about the Lincoln magazine, thank you, Paige.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Not a sponsor. So yeah, we thought the aircraft that was pretty clean on the inside looked really up to date.
Yeah, definitely recently retrofitted, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was.
The floors were really like it wasn't dirty, which was really nice. So I appreciated that. And yeah, Paige, you said you liked the blue ambient lighting.
I did. Yeah, really beautiful blue ambient lighting. I really like that. Nice little addition.
Again, it wasn't red.
Right,
So again,
yeah.
I'm not getting any of this Red Way, unfortunately, with
Right.
it. It would have been nice to have a little bit of red. And,
Yeah.
And again, you call it Red Way, so you expect when you see Nebraska, you see red. Like that's just it's just the color of Nebraska. Everything is red. You know, being red or something, whatever they say. Yeah. So we are. We made it to Austin, and that was a neat experience. So Austin. You did not get a jet bridge like you did in Lincoln because we flew into the South Terminal.
Literally, quote unquote, it's known as the South Terminal.
It literally is,
Yep.
yes. And it's not even in the main airport, not connected.
Completely detached from the main Austin terminal. Completely.
Yes. So we get there and we took the air stairs, which that was kind of interesting.
That was so much fun.
Super fun, Paige. How much fun did you have, Paige, going down those air stairs?
Oh my God, I had so much fun. I took so many pictures, and I had a little tear in my eye, not gonna lie.
Oh, what? You cried? Shocking.
Aileron experienced it too, right?
Yeah, I got pictures of little aileron with the airplane.
Yeah, a little aileron.
Oh, aileron, right.
Yeah, that's right. So I love that experience, and I remember talking
Yes.
about that in an episode or two, 3 episodes ago. I was talking about like going in Europe. You always walk up to your aircraft, or you take those little stairs like
It's definitely
that.
the preferred way.
Absolutely.
I love seeing that aircraft, unless it's raining.
Because you get to walk by the
Yeah.
engine. For me, it's walking by the engine and everything.
Yes.
I think that's really great. Yeah.
And then walking up right in front of it, and yep,
And
that's
booping
cool.
the snoot.
Boop the Snoop, like the shirt I'm wearing right now from Airline Videos.
Again, not a sponsor, but we love you. But yeah, you both booped the Snoop, and I got pictures of you guys booping the Snoop. And yeah, it's also neat to like, yeah, you are right there with your aircraft that you were just
Yes.
on.
It's really
Or
cool.
the aircraft we were about to get back on.
Yes.
But we'll talk about that in a bit. But it is such a neat little Airbus A320 that we like. I like the livery of Global Crossing, Global
I do
X.
too. Yeah, all three of them.
It's so yeah, so we get into the building. Okay, so I should say with the South Terminal, there's only 3 aircraft, 3 gates.
Three
That's
gates.
it.
It
So we have
houses 3 airlines: Frontier, Allegiant, and now Red Way Global X.
correct.
Yes.
So we had 2 Allegiants that were there. They're both our A319s, just little cute ones that Paige would say.
Ugh.
So cute. So cute. You don't even know.
We gotta
You don't
argue that one
understand.
day about the A319.
Moving
Anywho's,
on.
we are. So we get into the building, and there's the exit, and then there's connecting flights. So interesting that you'd have a connecting flight in the South Terminal in a way, which is why it was roped off. So Justin went the way of not having a connecting flight like Paige and I had.
Some of us apparently decided to leave the airport, which is what I did.
Which is what you did, and so you got literally
Barely, though.
2 feet, 1 feet
Yeah.
I'm
out.
talking not even 12 inches here. We're not even 12 inches.
No,
within
I don't think so either.
Within the unmarked, mind you, it's an open doorway.
Yeah.
Just to give a visual to the listener here, we're talking an open doorway. 2 of them. One to your left, one to your right.
Yep.
The one to the right is roped off.
Completely roped
So
off.
one naturally thinks not to go through that. Right?
You would
Am I
think.
right?
You
Even
would
though there's a
think.
sign that says connecting flights right there.
But no one's connecting except us.
Right.
of course,
Except for us.
Except for
We're
us.
the
We're the
only
only
ones.
one.
But
Yeah.
I'll admit, I was not looking that way. I guess I was beelining towards the open doorway.
You followed
And
everybody
so
else.
I immediately turned around, and then this gate agent, I guess security guy, whatever you want to call him, gets all up in my face and says, "Nope, you've left the airport." And I was like, "I've left the airport." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "I'm literally 8 inches from this doorway, and I see you guys
Right.
come back." I'm like, "Well, those are my friends." He says, "No, you got to go."
That's
the
when
long
we
way."
got there, yeah.
He's like, you gotta go check back in and go through security, which at the time I'm not familiar with the South Terminal, so I'm not too sure if that means do I have to go to the main terminal and check in. I don't really know what that meant because at first I was like, this is how I missed the flight.
Yeah.
This is how it happens. I knew one of us wasn't gonna make it. Didn't think it'd be me, but so luckily it did work out where the South Terminal was not busy at the time. So you were able to check into those 3 airlines that are housed there at the South Terminal. But just, in the back of my mind, I was like, I don't really know what that meant. Do I have to get a bus to the main terminal and check back in? I don't know. But it all worked out. They only have one security line, which is TSA standard. It doesn't matter if you got pre-check or clear. You gotta go the old school way and take your shoes off.
You have to take the shoes off.
I haven't taken my shoes off in an airport in years. It was
Me
so
either.
weird.
Right?
It was so odd.
Austin South Terminal, get your stuff together.
Exactly. Get your South together, man. And so I don't know. It was good in a way that I got to see some more of the airport, but it also showed some flaws.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah.
then I was able to find you guys again.
Yes, because
Yes,
your
finally.
friends left you behind.
Exactly.
We actually
manned up
connected.
and- you guys did the business way and connected through the right doorway, not the left doorway that leaves the airport. But anyway, so I got my hard copy ticket for the flight back to Lincoln. However, you guys were yet to get your tickets.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's another story.
So, the guys weren't there to check us in, so we just kind of had to wait a little bit.
Because originally in Lincoln, you were told once you get into Austin, just get with the gate agent and they'll help you out with your next ticket.
Correct.
Right.
So
Yeah.
there was no gate agent at the time, and we were just waiting. And there at the Austin South Terminal, they actually have an outdoor seating area, which is
Oh, it was beautiful.
and it was big too, actually, for an
Yeah.
outdoor sitting area.
It was almost equal to
nice.
the inside waiting area in terms
It
of size.
was,
It really
yeah.
was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would say so. I wish the food truck was open,
Right.
Yes.
but that was kind of
And a little less
tempting.
humid, but hey, given what it was actually really nice. Yeah, you
Yes,
get to
it
literally sit
absolutely
right
was.
next to the plane's air side.
Absolutely,
Yes.
and that was pretty neat.
Mm-hmm.
They also had the little flamingos out there. One was broken. That kid was trying to take the flamingo,
Yeah.
which is interesting. But yeah, so then finally I looked over, and after Allegiant was boarding for San Diego, I was able to go in and go get my ticket. It was probably about 30 minutes, 45 minutes prior. I wanted to make sure, hey, we had hard tickets to get back to Lincoln.
Mm-hmm.
So I get to this one agent who was there, and I said, hey, I'd like to go ahead and check in for the Lincoln flight, because I had connected, so I didn't go through security.
He's like, what are you already doing here?
Yeah, it was a little it was kind of confusing to him. And he's like,
Right.
hold on one moment.
What do you mean you
like,
need your ticket? You're talking to me right
how
now.
are you here like, without a ticket?
Exactly.
And so, like 2-3 minutes later, he pulled me to the side, and then he printed off my ticket. And then I said, yeah, my friend Paige is out there, and she's going to be here in about 5 minutes to get the ticket. And he's like, so she's out there? Like, out there in the outside area. I'm like, yeah, we both came from Lincoln. And then he just printed the ticket. No identification.
None
Let's
at
go
all.
a little more in depth here about what you just said. No visual confirmation of any kind. Just briefly looked out the window and said, out there?
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. And I was like,
Mind you, you didn't have her ID.
No.
Nothing.
No.
You just had a friend named Paige.
not even the same last name.
No.
Nothing.
You're not
No.
sisters. You're not any. Like, I was blown away by this.
I was also blown
Because
away.
mind you, I just gave you a story about how I could not come 8 inches back into the airport no give, but yet they're just handing out tickets to anybody who has the right name on the list.
Right. So
People had 2 different training classes.
Right.
she was one of the 43 that were on that flight back. So I just happened to get one of the 43 names correct. So I got my ticket and Paige's ticket, and I told Paige, I was making a joke. It's like, hey, I think we're gonna have to go through security because they're not gonna give it to me. And
Yeah, I saw you through the window. You're like, you gotta come in. I'm like, oh
Yeah,
no.
you
I
had
start
us
packing
sold.
up
You
my
had us
bags.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you come by and throw the tickets on the table. I'm like, what?
Which personally, I was very happy because I was like, good.
you need to go through
Oh, I
security.
knew- and I knew you would have been happy about that.
Absolutely. Little did I know that you could have given anyone's name, in my opinion. You could have been like, my friend Tim's out there, and had there been a guy on the flight named Tim, I think you would have gotten Tim's ticket.
Probably could have gotten Austin, that was an interesting experience. And,
Overall great.
Yeah, not
Amazing.
Not bad. And so then, we were able to get back on the same exact aircraft with the same exact air crew, who definitely reintroduced and were actually happier to see us.
I think
They
even
were.
though they knew we were coming back on, they were still surprised to be like, wow, they're actually flying a return flight.
I don't think they believed us.
No, they did. That's what I'm saying. They're like, okay, whatever. But then when we
Right.
get back on, they're like, oh, you're literally going back to Lincoln now.
You and aileron, like
Yes.
the one flight attendant loved aileron.
She really did.
She did.
I did notice that.
She-
She was quite
well-
infatuated with him.
And I don't know if you saw, but she came and took a picture of her, and she kept asking like, "Oh, what does she want to drink? Did she eat all that? Does she want any food?"
Not
And-
referring to you either, right? Yeah.
No, my plush airplane. Yep. And she was like, she came by and she was like, "Hello, little one." I was cute though. I loved it.
It was interesting.
They played the role. They
They
played
did.
the role.
did.
They
It was
did exactly what they're
amazing.
supposed to, and again, very friendly.
Crew was great.
flight crew.
Crew was great.
Absolutely. That morning crew did a great job. Very attentive
I
to
think we all had a
everybody.
chance to talk to one of them at some point.
Absolutely.
We all had
Yeah.
a chance to talk to them.
Yeah, I mean, I think Paige and I spent like 5 minutes talking to the one lady.
Yeah.
Like after everybody got off the aircraft, and you could see the pilot like, "Get off the aircraft!" like we just all want to get off the aircraft,
What could they possibly be talking about?
right? So let's talk about. All right, so we got back to Lincoln and Randall. Good old
Oh, hey,
Randall.
Randall, what's up?
Good old Randall.
was there. He was waiting for us. He even had a sign saying the exit row. Like he was ready
did.
to.
That was so
Concierge
cool.
service was there.
Yeah.
Like,
So it was
this
great.
was unbeknownst to me. By the way, if you don't know from previous podcasts, Randall is AKA my father. I refer to him by the first name. It is what it is. Don't at me. But anyway, Randall was there welcoming us back to Lincoln. So yeah, it was great. Always good to see Dad. Always good to see Dad.
Right.
Absolutely.
And we got to meet him too for
Yeah.
our
It was your
first
first.
time.
It was
yeah.
your first in-person experience with Randall.
So
How'd it go?
it was
It was
great.
a great time.
High praise. High praise.
Yeah. Randall, we appreciate you.
You're the best, my man.
So that was basically it for our trip. I also wanted to talk about how we found out about how the air crew, how their operations work with them. So they're based out of Las Vegas, the air crew, not the company.
Right.
So tell me what you learned, Justin.
So like you guys mentioned, you were kind of talking with them at the end of the flight. I think this was as we got on in Austin. I can't remember where it was exactly, but anyway, I was talking with one of the flight attendants. I wish I could remember her name, but I do not, so I apologize. They were all nice, as you've mentioned.
Absolutely.
Crew was great.
Yeah.
But anyway, so like you said, they're based out of Las Vegas, but I found it very interesting. So she asked, like, why are you guys doing the return flight? So naturally, one would ask, why are you doing this?
Yes.
And so it was kind of, it's tough to answer that question without saying, hey, we're just flying to fly, right? Like,
Yeah.
you either get it or you don't.
Right.
But anyway, I mentioned that we came from Omaha, and she's like, oh, we flew into Omaha. And that, my mind goes, what? Why would you be flying into Omaha?
Yeah, what airline did you
on
take
a
to get there?
Lincoln-based airline.
Right.
So naturally, I said, hold on, you just can't say that. I need to ask you some more further in-depth questions here. So she
Yeah.
said, we flew into Omaha via Southwest. So I learned that I can't speak to all the crews, but at least for this specific crew, the night before, so what would be Friday night, they flew in from Las Vegas to Omaha on Southwest and then rented a car and drove to Lincoln
again, an hour away.
Right, just to be the crew on these flights. So they were also the crew on the Nashville flight that was later in the day. They happened to be on that crew. But I found it very interesting that they fly a different airline just to be crew of their airline.
Yes.
I found that very interesting. I don't know.
And they do it for 10 straight days.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. 10
So-
straight days. Think about that.
10 straight days. They bring 2 crews out, and it's a very interesting because Red Way flies to Vegas, so you would have expected them to
There'd be a way
take
to
a
get them there
flight
somehow,
back
you'd think.
to
Yeah.
Lincoln from
I just think
Vegas.
as a budget airline, it's funny to see some of the things that they do.
Yeah.
Obviously money's at a premium, so it's funny to see them. You think there would be ways to, I get flying Southwest and all that, but there'd be ways to, even if it's a connection through United, fly them into Lincoln at least, right?
There's that too, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just kind of funny when if you really want to break it down, like why? I guess that's what I'm getting at. I
Yeah,
found it very interesting that they
It is
flew
very
Southwest.
interesting. Yeah.
Exactly.
But yeah, so that's what we found about the crew. Again, very friendly. I think overall, I think we all had a pretty great experience, actually.
Absolutely.
Like
10
I
out
said,
of 10.
like for what we were going in for, I thought it was perfect. Really was.
Yeah, if you're just trying to get to your destination,
They'll do it. Yeah.
they're going to do it, and they have multiple fares that you can take to get there.
If you're trying to fly for cheap, this is honestly the way
Yes.
to go.
Especially for families.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness.
Exactly. Which
Just-
is
Right.
To think about it, like the one ticket, and I'm looking here, you can get a ticket to Minneapolis for $19.
That's crazy.
So you can get a whole family to Minneapolis, like, for
Less than $100.
However,
exactly.
let's go a little further into this. So it'd be great. You think these flights would be a little more full. We kind of discovered talking with the flight crew that these flights are typically not full.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think the max they said
However-
one flight was 90 they've had so
Right,
far.
which is like supposedly like their most full flight they've had. But as you've discovered, they're not listed on Google Flights.
No.
Which is one of the most popular ways for a general person to search flights.
Correct.
So
Yeah,
it's great for families, but unfortunately, I think there's a lot of people out there that would fly this, but they don't know about it.
they don't know about it, and
Right.
I really think that if they could, and I think maybe because it's a charter in a way, it's a charter plane.
It falls under a certain umbrella.
Right, and
Yeah.
it's not going to be on Google Flights. And
Exactly.
it would be great to see that actually be on there because they really are having to promote super hard through social media. Like, hey
Right.
guys, this is the Lincoln Airport. The best way to get out of here is through Red Way.
It becomes
Yeah.
modern day word of mouth, which is now social media. Like
Yeah.
unless you're following them or seeing people that are following them, you don't know about this.
You don't, and
Right.
and these other cities like Vegas or Orlando, Atlanta, shoot, even Minneapolis, the people who are coming from like the University of Minnesota for a Big Ten college football game, right? They're not going to know about it. They're going to have to go into either get a United flight into Lincoln or have to go all the way to Omaha's airport and then drive all the way down into. Nobody wants to drive to Lincoln on Saturday. It is just terrible.
Absolutely not.
So I really would love to see them on Google Flights. I really want to see them succeed in this.
Absolutely.
And, I think, they are doing a good job in the fact that they were able to sell 8,000 buy one, get one
Yes.
seats with this promotion.
That was great.
So
As you're alluding to, no one's obviously rooting against them, but what they're trying to do is a very tall task, and that is becoming an airline.
absolutely.
Any point in time.
Absolutely.
It's just
Yeah.
tough. It's tough.
And again, you're going to have a great experience if you take Red Way.
Absolutely.
We're not sponsored by them. This is just us literally talking about our experience with Red Way.
The only flaws that honestly happened were our own doing. When you really think about it, was our own doing.
Yeah.
The only
Yes.
things that happened, right?
Yeah.
Honestly,
They got you exactly where you needed to
Exactly.
for what
go.
we paid for, we got exactly what you should, if not more. I mean, exactly for the price you paid. I think there's a lot of people out there paying more and getting a lot less.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about it. I'm a Delta guy, so I'm paying a premium to fly my flight sometimes.
Yeah.
No such thing as a 2-digit price number.
Exactly. And it's kind of funny too because I go into Ryanair's social media is absolutely hilarious. If
Yes.
you've never seen their,
Oh my
okay.
god.
they literally are like, we literally are selling furniture or seats. We're literally just selling you a seat. We don't care if you get a window. We don't care what not. We're literally getting you to where you need to. There's no Wi-Fi, just like there's no Wi-Fi on Red Way.
Yes. So
you have a
download
2-hour
your stuff
flight.
beforehand. Yes.
So, and like my wife has specifically said, because we're going to go take Wizz Air and Ryanair next month down to southern Italy. And she's like, you really need Wi-Fi for a 2-hour flight? I'm like,
right.
I guess I've just gotten so used to it.
Right.
And it was kind of nice to actually have that experience, remove the Wi-Fi, and just actually experience
Experience the airline, enjoy the views, just take it all in.
You're forced to talk to the person you're sitting next to.
So, yeah,
Good
overall,
times.
again, we enjoyed the Red Way experience.
A round of applause for Red Way.
And I think, we'll definitely have those.
And a round of applause for Lincoln Airport.
Yeah.
You know?
Hashtag LNK. Right.
So keep it up.
Yes.
And I hope the promotion and social media game definitely helps them succeed.
10 out of 10 would
Again,
fly
cheap
again.
flights
Yes.
for families. This is like perfect. All right. With that, I'm going to go ahead and take a break, and we will be back, and we're going to talk about our future travels.
See you around the corner.
See ya.
Welcome back, everybody. This is now the exit row finally coming to a close for episode 4. With that, though, Justin,
Hey.
you are headed out to Alaska soon.
Yes, sir. Actually, this weekend.
You're headed to the Milk Run.
So jealous.
Yes. So just a quick synopsis of what will happen. So going Sunday, flying to Seattle, and then from Seattle, we're doing what is known as the Milk Run. So at least for Alaska Airlines, it is a series of flights between Seattle and Anchorage, or vice versa. So Anchorage and Seattle. And so we're just doing a portion that is from Seattle to Juneau, Alaska. And the 3 stops we're making, just to make sure I'm correct here, are Ketchikan, Wrangell, and Petersburg. These are like really small remote airports, like smaller than Millard Airport, some of them. Like,
Oh, God.
Very small. And I can go in more in depth next time we all meet for another exit row session. But then after that, we are going from Juneau to Anchorage to spend a couple days up at the freight capital of the world. And if you're a true Av geek, you know how awesome it is probably up there.
Absolutely,
So,
yep.
looking forward to that time. Also, it's going to be great since I'm going to be able to share it with my dad. It's going to be really awesome to go up there with him.
Randall.
Hey, Randall, shout out Randall.
Yo, Randall.
So it's going to be really great to be up there with him. And we both share common interests. And this has been a bucket list item for both of us. So it's going to be an awesome weekend coming up.
I know I'm super jealous.
Yes.
Me too.
Follow me on my social media pages if you want to follow along. Do the best I can. Show you what's going on.
Love it. I love it. And we'll talk about it in the next episode.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So with that, it's time to talk about our future travels, right? So I've already discussed my travels in the previous episode. I'm headed to Italy next month, but we probably have another episode before that's going to happen.
so.
And
More than likely.
Justin, you've already talked about you're going to do the Milk Run.
The Great North.
Going out to Alaska. Super jealous. Paige, you're headed back to Fremont.
Ooh.
Oh, look at that sass. Ooh,
Yeah.
yep. You're going to take another trip out to Fremont. We can't wait to hear about your next adventure to Fremont.
Via Ford. And I believe you drive a Ford. Is that it?
Yeah. Okay, there, Kia owner.
So with that, this is Adama ringing it out with Justin and Paige. Please, Justin, your handles on social media.
So you can find me at spotting.omaha.
Paige.
OMA_spotter_page. And if you want to follow my little travel buddy, Adventures with Aileron.
And you can also follow us at the Exit Row Pod on Instagram, and myself, Photography by Adama D on the Instagram as well.
Share
For
this
that-
with your pets, please.
Share this with your pets,
Absolutely.
your families, your friends. If you like us, please subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. And if you're not getting that platform that you would like, please let us know and we'll go ahead and get those podcasts out there. For us 3, safe travels and see you in the next episode in 2 weeks.
See ya.
Bye.